I opened the car door with trembling hands. The cool night air hit my face, but it didn't cool the fire in my chest. I knew where she was. I knew. And yet, a part of me still hoped I was wrong, that I had misunderstood, that the woman I built my life with wasn't about to spit on 15 years of marriage like it meant nothing. But hope is for fools. Her name is Madison, my wife, the woman I married when we were both broke, dreaming, and loyal. Or so I thought. Tonight, she told me she was going to dinner with her old friend from work, a woman named Rachel. I even ironed her dress shirt for her. That's how much of a clown I was. But something didn't sit right. Madison didn't wear perfume when going to dinner with friends. She didn't spend 20 minutes curling her damn hair for a casual catch-up. And she definitely didn't wear those heels unless she wanted to feel desired. I should have spoken up then. But I just watched her walk out the door, smiling at me like everything was normal, like I wasn't being gutted from the inside out. So I waited 10 minutes. Then I grabbed my keys. And I followed her. My guy Ryan, who works at the valet near 5th and Monroe, owed me a favor. When I called, he said she dropped off her car at Milo's, a fancy rooftop restaurant downtown. She's wearing a red dress, right? He asked. My heart stopped. She looked hot, bro. She's not with a girl, though. She's with some tall dude in a blazer. You want me to check the name on the reservation? I didn't respond. I just drove. When I got there, I didn't walk through the main entrance. I took the back stairs. Years ago, Madison and I came here to celebrate our 10th anniversary. She loved the city view from the terrace. Said it made her feel like life was still full of surprises. Well, I had one for her tonight. I saw them before they saw me. The guy Travis was leaning in, his hand on hers. Madison was laughing like she hadn't laughed in years. The sound hit me like a hammer. And when she brushed her fingers across his jaw, something inside me cracked. I took out my phone and started recording. Her smile. The way her fingers curled around his wrist. The moment his hand landed on her thigh. It was all there, and perfect, HD betrayal. Then she kissed him. That was it. I wasn't watching anymore. I walked up to their table, dead silence following my every step. Madison saw me and her face drained like someone just yanked the soul out of her. Oh my God, she gasped, standing up so fast her wine spilled. Don't stop on my account, I said calmly, holding up my phone. You were just getting to the good part. David, please. Save it. I looked at Travis. You didn't know she was married, right? He stammered, backing away. She said she was separated. I turned to Madison. Separated? Is that what we are now? Her mouth opened, then closed. Her lips trembled, but she didn't deny it. And that told me everything I needed to know. You disobeyed me, I said, voice low, filled with something I didn't recognize in myself. 15 years of marriage, and you threw it all away for this? A date. It's not what you think, she started, but I cut her off. No, it's exactly what I think. And the only reason I'm not screaming in your face is because I want every word I say to be clear. You're done, Madison. The color drained from her cheeks. I already have the paperwork drawn up. I just needed proof. Now I've got it. Enjoy your dinner. It's the last one I'll ever pay for. I walked away, feeling like my legs were made of stone. But I didn't collapse. Not yet. That would come later. I didn't drive home. I couldn't. My hands were shaking too bad to even hold the wheel steady. So I pulled into an empty parking lot and just sat there, staring at the steering wheel like it had all the answers. My breathing was ragged, chest tight, vision blurred. You think you know what betrayal feels like, until it wraps its claws around your spine and rips through everything you thought was real. I pulled out my phone again. Pressed play. Watched the video back. Madison. Laughing. Touching him. Kissing him. There it was, plain as day, like a knife stuck on repeat. I had spent 15 years building a home with that woman. Supported her through job changes, therapy, family drama. Defended her when people said she was manipulative. I thought they didn't understand her like I did. Turns out, I didn't understand a damn thing. I scrolled through our photos. Vacations. Her holding our son, Liam, when he was a baby. Our last Christmas together, where she looked so genuinely happy. Or maybe she was just pretending. Madison was always good at that, smiling while lying. Maybe she'd been practicing this double life for longer than I knew. Maybe Travis wasn't even the first. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the couch in the dark with the TV off, staring at nothing. Around 2 a.m., the front door opened. I heard her heels clicking against the tile. She paused when she saw me sitting there. David, she said, voice small. You've got 5 minutes to say whatever you need to say, I said, not even looking at her. She hesitated. Can I sit? No. She sighed. Okay. I know how this looks. It looks like my wife was on a date with another man. After I asked her not to go. I wasn't planning for anything to happen, she said quickly. It was just dinner, I swear. You kissed him. That was a mistake, she shot back, her tone shifting. I was confused. Confused. I stood up. You looked pretty damn certain when your tongue was halfway down his throat. Her eyes narrowed. There it was, that flicker of attitude that always came out when she wasn't getting her way. Don't act like you've been perfect, she said, arms crossing. You're always busy. You're never home. You don't even notice when I try anymore. Oh, so it's my fault you cheated? I didn't cheat, she snapped. We haven't even been close in months. I laughed, sharp and bitter. Because you kept turning me down. Every time I tried, you pulled away. Now I know why. She looked away. Guilty. Good. I felt unwanted, she said, voice softer now, trying to pivot back to pity. I didn't plan this, David. It just happened. Let me guess. One thing led to another? I said. That line workshop between wine glasses and dessert? Silence. I gave you everything, Madison. My loyalty. My years. My youth. I worked jobs I hated just to keep this family running. And you repay me by playing dress-up for some random jackass in a restaurant we used to call ours? Her jaw clenched, but she didn't respond. I want you out, I said finally. By tomorrow. She blinked. What? You heard me. Get your stuff. Go stay with your little boy toy if you want. I don't care. But you're not sleeping in this house another night. You can't be serious, she scoffed. We have a son, and he doesn't need to see his father getting walked on like a doormat. You want to break this family? Fine. But you don't get to pretend you care now. Tears welled in her eyes, but I didn't feel sorry. Not anymore. You think you're going to come back from this, I said, voice low. You think you're going to cry and lie your way out of it like always. But not this time, Madison. This time, I'm done. She left without another word. Just grabbed her purse and stormed out, slamming the door like she still had the right to be angry. I stood there in the quiet, finally feeling the weight of everything fall on me. 15 years. Gone. I sat back down, head in my hands. And for the first time in years, I let myself cry. The morning came too fast. I hadn't slept, hadn't even changed out of the clothes I wore last night. The living room still smelled faintly like her perfume, sweet, floral, fake. I walked to the kitchen, made coffee, stared at the empty spot where she usually left my mug. It hit me then, harder than before. She really was gone. And good riddance. Around 9 a.m., my phone buzzed. A text from her. I'll come get my things at noon. Please don't make this harder than it has to be. I didn't respond. Instead, I went upstairs and packed her stuff myself. Tossed everything into suitcases and garbage bags. Her clothes, shoes, hairdryer, makeup, those stupid scented candles she loved. Everything she touched, everything she lied through. I even threw in the necklace I bought her on our 10th anniversary, the one she wore to dinner with that prick. As I zipped the last suitcase, I noticed her second phone hidden in the back of her closet. Yeah, second phone. I knew the moment I saw it that it wasn't for work. She told me she lost that thing months ago. Lying bitch. I powered it on. No password. She must have assumed I'd never find it. I opened the messages and found the truth staring me in the face. There were dozens of texts with Travis. Some flirty. Some graphic. None respectful to me or our marriage. But it wasn't just Travis. There were messages from Eli, Sean, and someone saved as handyman smiling face with orange dot. Photos too. A few of her in lingerie I'd never even seen before. The ones I bought her? Still had tags on. My stomach twisted. So Travis wasn't her first. Just the one who got caught. She'd been lying for years. I didn't know what rage felt like until that moment. Real rage. Not yelling in traffic rage. The kind that turns your vision red. I almost smashed the phone, but something stopped me. No. I needed this. I needed proof. Evidence. Leverage. At noon, she showed up like she was walking into a courtroom, tight-lipped, sunglasses on, no apology in her eyes. I didn't say a word. Just pointed to her bags in the hallway. She walked past me like I was furniture. You didn't have to pack it like this, she muttered, eyeing the garbage bags. Some of that stuff is delicate. I laughed. So was our marriage. But you didn't care about that either. She shot me a glare. You're so dramatic. Am I? You had a second phone. Her face froze. For the first time, she looked shaken. You went through my things? You lied for years, Madison. You have no privacy left. She opened her mouth, probably to spin some ridiculous story. I didn't give her the chance. Don't bother. I saw everything. Travis. Eli. Sean. The King handyman? Really? I was lonely, she snapped. No. You were selfish. She grabbed her bags in silence. When she turned to leave, I spoke again. I'm filing tomorrow. Full custody. She laughed without humor. You'll never get it. I've got a better shot than a serial cheater who was screwing her way through the neighborhood while her husband raised their son. You think Liam will believe you? I don't need him to believe anything right now. He'll see it when he's older. When he asks why we're not together, I'll show him the truth. All of it. Madison stormed out, slamming the door behind her for the second time in 24 hours. But this time, I smiled. That evening, I sat on the floor of Liam's room, picking up the Legos he'd left out. He was with my sister for the weekend. I'd told her we needed some time. She didn't ask questions, just came to get him with a hug and a knowing look. I guess she always suspected. Hell, maybe everyone did but me. I looked around his room, his drawings on the wall, the photos of us at the zoo, the beach, the ball game. I realized then that I'd let her take a piece of me I never offered. Not just my love or trust, my dignity. And that was over now. No more lies. No more begging. No more wondering where she was when she came home late with her lipstick smudged and her hair smelling like cheap cologne. She had paid the price. But it wasn't nearly enough. 2 days later, the real fallout began. Word spread fast, faster than I expected. Mutual friends stopped replying to her stories on Instagram. Her gym buddy, Tina, even called me to say she'd known something was up but never had proof. Apparently, Madison had been making late-night visits to Travis for a while now. Thought she was just working overtime, Tina said. She even used your name as an excuse once. I laughed bitterly. Figures. Then came the knock on the door. It was Travis. I opened it and just stared at him. Tall, cocky-looking idiot with a smug little smirk that faded when he saw I wasn't bluffing. I didn't know she was married, he said, hands up like I was holding a gun. I swear. She said you were her soulmate. He hesitated. She told me you two were basically over. I stepped outside, closed the door behind me, and stood nose to nose with him. Listen to me, and listen carefully. I'm not going to hit you. That'd be too easy. But if you come near my house again, near my son, near me, I'll bury you legally. You'll be fighting restraining orders so fast your head will spin. He nodded, looking like a kicked dog. I just came to apologize. You don't get to apologize to me. Save it for your therapist. I turned and walked back inside, locking the door behind me. I leaned against it for a second, taking deep breaths. The audacity. Coming to my home like he was the victim. That night, I started going through the house, getting rid of her. Not just her stuff, her energy. I threw out the throw pillows she insisted on stacking just right every morning. Dumped the half-used skincare she left behind. Took down every single photo of us. Replaced them with pictures of Liam and me at the park, his birthday party, building a snowman in the backyard. Our life. Our real moments. Without her poison infecting them. Then I opened the storage closet. At the back, in an old shoebox, I found the anniversary cards she'd written me over the years. I started reading them, expecting to feel nostalgic or maybe even pain. But all I felt was disgust. Every "I love you" was a lie. Every "you're my rock" felt like a joke now. In one, she wrote, "You're the only man I've ever trusted with my heart." That one I burned. Later that week, I met with my lawyer, Tom Bradshaw, a real pit bull when it came to divorce. He read through the texts, the photos, the video I'd recorded. When he looked up, his expression was cold and satisfied. "She's done," he said. "We're going for everything. You'll keep the house. Full custody's on the table. And with that second phone? That's marital misconduct on record." "Good," I replied. "I don't want her to walk away clean." Tom leaned back. "You're handling this better than most." I smiled without warmth. That's because I've been dead inside since the moment I saw her kiss him. The days started blending together. One morning, I woke up and realized something strange. I wasn't angry anymore. Not like before. It was something else now, cold, focused, unshakable. Like a survivor digging his way out of rubble. She'd buried me in lies and manipulation, but now I was clawing my way to the surface. And damn it, I was breathing again. One afternoon, I picked Liam up from school. He climbed into the car and asked, "Why isn't Mommy living with us anymore?" My heart stopped. I looked in the rearview mirror at his innocent face. So much like mine, but his eyes were hers. That same shade of green the first used to get lost in. I didn't want to lie to him. Not like she did. She made some bad choices, buddy, I said slowly. Choices that hurt our family. So for now, she's going to live somewhere else. But you didn't do anything wrong. None of this is your fault, okay? He nodded quietly and looked out the window. When we got home, he went straight to the backyard to play. I stood there watching him, realizing that the love I thought I lost hadn't left. It had just changed direction. It wasn't wasted. It was redirected to my son, to myself, to the life I still had. Madison thought she broke me, but she only set me free. A week passed. Madison tried calling twice. I didn't answer. She left voicemails, fake soft voice laced with desperation. David, please, let's talk. I think we should try counseling. I made a mistake. Mistake? No. A mistake is forgetting to take out the trash. What she did was a decision, a series of them. Over and over again. Her mistake was thinking I'd never find out. That I'd keep being the same predictable fool who always forgave, always fixed what she broke. I played the voicemails for Tom. He told me not to reply. Let her twist. The more she pushes, the stronger our case gets. I agreed. But the part of me that used to ache for her, it was silent now. She showed up unannounced the next day. Middle of the afternoon. I was home with Liam, watching cartoons, when the doorbell rang. I opened it, and there she was, no makeup, tear-streaked face, wearing the same hoodie I bought her last Christmas. The one that used to mean something. I just want to talk, she said. Liam's inside, I replied. Keep your voice down. She stepped back like the words slapped her. Please. 10 minutes. I'm begging you. I stepped out and closed the door behind me. Talk. I miss us, she whispered. I know what I did was unforgivable, but I panicked. I felt like I was disappearing in this life. I wanted to feel wanted again. Then you should have talked to me, not spread your legs for strangers. Her eyes snapped up, shocked by the bluntness. Good. She didn't get to control the tone anymore. I'm sorry, she whispered. No, you're sorry you got caught. You lied to my face for years, Madison. You gaslit me. Made me feel like I was crazy when I asked where you were at night. She opened her mouth to speak, but I kept going. You told our friends we were growing apart. You wore the ring I gave you while you let other men touch you. And now what? You think I'll take you back? Let you back into our house? Around our son? I'll do anything, she pleaded. Therapy, rehab, whatever you want. Just don't throw away 15 years. I laughed short, hollow. You already did. She looked up, eyes red. I miss you. I don't miss you, I said. I miss who I thought you were. But she never existed. Just a mask you wore until it got boring. She reached for my hand. I pulled back like her skin was fire. Leave, Madison. Before I call the cops. She looked like she wanted to scream, to slap me, to beg again. But she just turned and walked back to her car. I went back inside and hugged Liam tight. He leaned into me without saying a word. He didn't know the details, but he could feel the storm. Kids always can. That night, I sat down and wrote out every thought I'd held in since this began. A letter I never planned to send. Just to get it out. Every betrayal. Every sleepless night. Every time I touched her and didn't know she'd already given that part of herself to someone else. I wrote until my hand cramped. Then I folded it, burned it, and watched the ashes swirl away in the kitchen sink. A few days later, I got a call from Madison's sister, Kim. We hadn't spoken much over the years. She was always more her side than mine, but her tone surprised me. I heard what happened, she said. And for what it's worth. I'm sorry. Thanks. She told me everything, Kim continued. I didn't want to believe it, but this wasn't a one-time thing. She's been like this for years. You knew? No, she said quickly. Not all of it. Just, there were signs. I ignored them. I figured it was none of my business. I stayed quiet. She's staying at Mom's, Kim added. Crying every day. But honestly, you don't owe her a damn thing. She had a good man and pissed it away. Yeah, I said. She did. After that, something inside me started shifting. I wasn't just reacting anymore. I was rebuilding. Liam and I started doing weekend trips. Just us. The beach. The zoo. Even tried a camping night in the backyard. He smiled more. Laughed louder. And so did I. One evening, as I tucked him into bed, he looked up at me and said, I like it better when it's just us. That hit different. I kissed his forehead. Me too, buddy. Me too. A month went by, and it was like breathing new air. The silence in the house wasn't sad anymore. It was peaceful. No more tiptoeing around moods. No more waiting for her to come home late, pretending not to smell the wrong cologne or see the guilt in her eyes. Liam settled into the new rhythm quickly. Kids are resilient like that. He still asked about her sometimes, but less and less. And I answered honestly, age-appropriate, but real. I wasn't going to lie to him the way she lied to both of us. One evening, I got an email. From her. Subject: please read this. David. I know you hate me. I know you probably won't believe anything I say. But I just wanted to tell you that I never stopped loving you. I was selfish, I know that now. I got lost. I didn't know how to fix what was wrong inside me. You were always stable. Too stable, maybe. I felt invisible. I know that's not an excuse, but it's the truth. I'm starting therapy. Not for you, because I know I've lost you, but because I don't like who I've become. I wish I could take it all back. If I could rewind time, I would never go on that date. But I can't. So now I just live with the fact that I ruined the only real thing I ever had. Tell Liam I love him. And that I'm sorry. For everything. Madison. I read it once. Then again. And you know what I felt? Nothing. No rage. No pain. Not even pity. That was the moment I realized I was truly free. Madison was just a name now. A chapter closed. A ghost in a house I'd already cleansed. A week later, I finalized the paperwork with Tom. Divorce was clean and swift, thanks to all the evidence. I got the house. Full custody with visitation for her every other weekend, supervised, until the court was satisfied she was mentally stable. She didn't fight it. Probably because she knew she had no ground to stand on. On the morning of the court date, she showed up dressed down, makeup-free, hair tied back. Her eyes met mine across the room. No tears this time. No words. Just silence. And maybe, finally, shame. When the judge read the terms, I signed without hesitation. She did too. It was over. Outside the courthouse, she walked up to me. For a second, I thought she might say something awful again, twist the knife one last time like she used to. But instead, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "You were a better man than I ever deserved." I nodded. Yeah, I was. And then I walked away. The next few months were better than any year I'd had in a long time. I started hitting the gym again. Picked up cooking with Liam. Even went out with some buddies and laughed for real. Not the fake kind. Not the one you force when your life's falling apart. Real joy. Funny thing is, I started sleeping deeper. Longer. No more insomnia. No more lying awake, wondering who she was texting. Who she was with. What lies were waiting for me in the morning. One day, Liam and I were at the park. He was on the swings, giggling like the world couldn't touch him, and I just sat there, watching, drinking my coffee, feeling the sun on my face. And I realized something. This was my reward. Not revenge. Not her downfall. But peace. A clean slate. She paid her price. And I, finally, got my life back. Summer rolled in fast. Long days, warm nights, and for the first time in years, they didn't feel heavy. No more pretending. No more walking on eggshells around a woman who saw me as a convenience rather than a man. My mind wasn't clouded by suspicion, pain, or those quiet thoughts that used to keep me up at 3 a.m., asking myself if I was crazy or just blind. Liam was thriving. He laughed more, ate better, slept like a rock. He started drawing pictures of just the two of us fishing, building a fort, playing soccer. She was nowhere in those crayon memories. I didn't push it. He processed things in his own way, and I wasn't about to tell him how to feel about the mother who chose betrayal over stability. Then came the text. It was a random Friday night. I was watching a movie with Liam. My phone buzzed, and there it was, her name on the screen again. Are you seeing someone? I stared at it for a full minute before locking the phone and tossing it on the coffee table. She didn't get to ask that. She didn't get to pry, to poke, to pretend she still had a role in my life beyond co-parenting. But 2 hours later, another message came. I heard you went out with someone. Just be careful who you bring around, Liam. That one set my blood boiling. I picked up the phone and typed back fast. The only person Liam ever needed to be protected from was you. Stay in your lane, Madison. She didn't reply. That weekend was her scheduled visit. She showed up on time, a little too done up for a play date, and forced a smile when she saw me. I handed Liam his bag and gave him a quick hug before walking him to her car. Hey, she said, as I turned to leave. I meant what I said. Just, don't let strangers raise him. I looked at her, dead in the eyes. You had 15 years to raise him with me. You chose other men. I'll bring around whoever I trust. You lost the right to an opinion the day you started sneaking around hotels and lying about it. Her face cracked a little. Good. She drove off, and I stood there for a second, breathing in deep. That woman could twist a sentence into a dagger like no one else. But this time, it didn't pierce. Her power was fading. She was clawing at something she no longer owned. A few weeks later, I met someone. Her name was Elena. Smart, grounded, emotionally honest. She didn't come with games or guilt. We met through a mutual friend at a cookout. At first, I was hesitant. Burns like mine don't heal fast. But the more we talked, the more I realized she was different. There was no performance. No need for approval. Just presence. She met Liam after a month. I watched them build a Lego castle together, and something inside me softened. I forgot that connection could be this easy. Madison found out through someone in our circle. And, like clockwork, she started acting up, texting more, showing up early, asking questions she had no business asking. You moved on fast, she said one day during a drop-off. I shrugged. You moved on before we even broke up. So forgive me if I don't feel guilty. She bit her lip. Do you love her? I don't owe you that answer. But do you? She pushed, like it still mattered. I looked her over once. The woman I used to wake up beside, defend, believe in. Now, just a stranger in expensive makeup and desperation. I'm learning what real love actually looks like, I said quietly. That's all you need to know. She didn't speak. Just turned and walked away. After that, she stopped asking questions. The funny thing about betrayal is that it doesn't just break your heart, it breaks the illusion. You stop romanticizing the past. You stop defending the person who stabbed you. And once that illusion shatters, you finally see who they are and who you've become in spite of them. And I liked who I was becoming. I was no longer Madison's husband. I was Liam's father. A man rebuilding with scars that no longer hurt. And damn, it felt good. Fall came. The leaves turned, the air cooled, and with every passing week, the last pieces of her slipped further into memory. I didn't talk about her anymore. Didn't need to. The people who mattered already knew. The ones who didn't? They weren't part of my story going forward. Elena stayed. Through the silence, through the hard days. She never pushed me to talk, but when I did, she listened. Not like Madison did, nodding while her mind wandered elsewhere. Elena heard me. One night, I told her everything. The affair. The second phone. The lies. The moment I realized the woman I married had never really existed. She didn't flinch. Just took my hand and said, "You're not broken. You just needed someone honest to show you what real feels like." That night, I didn't feel like a man healing. I felt like a man healed. Liam kept thriving. He loved Elena, called her E. She never tried to replace Madison. Never tried to force her way into his life. She showed up, gently and consistently. And that meant everything. As for Madison, the last time I saw her, it was during a school event. Liam was on stage in a paper crown, grinning ear to ear. I was in the front row. She stood near the back, alone. When the show ended, he ran straight into my arms. She waved. He waved back politely. But then he looked at me and said, "Can we go home now?" Not go with her. Not go see Mom. Just home. And that's when I knew. He understood. Maybe not all of it. Not yet. But enough. Enough to know who stayed. Who lied. Who loved him without conditions. We walked out into the cold night, his little hand wrapped in mine. I looked up at the stars, breathed deep, and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Gratitude. For the pain. For the betrayal. For the wreckage. Because without it, I wouldn't be here. Stronger. Wiser. Clearer. So, if you're reading this, if you're in the middle of your own storm, hear me. You will survive this. You'll hurt. You'll cry. You'll question everything. But one day, you'll stand exactly where I am. Not broken. Not bitter. Free. And the only thing you'll regret is not walking away sooner.